Hello and welcome to your weekly tarot reading for July 1st through July 7th, 2020. I'm Linda the Lightworker. I'm a shamanic practitioner and I use tarot cards, my spirit guides, energy oracles, and all the intuition, and really my guides are very loud. So anyway, I'm surprised you can't hear them. Maybe you can. Anyway, what I do is make daily videos typically to help you stay on your life path, living a life of recovery so that you're doing your best, staying focused on the present one day at a time, taking really good care of yourself. Now, if this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. Info about me is down below in that diddly-do box, and LindaTheLightWorker.com is my website if you want to find out a little bit more about me. Now, my regulars, I got a message for you. I am going on vacation. I'm going camping and outside of Mount Rainier, which is going to be really spectacular for this 4th of July celebration. So I'll be off grid and not posting any videos. And what an exciting reading we have during this time. We have a very powerful lunar eclipse happening on July 5th, on Sunday, July 5th. And so we're already starting to feel the effects of this massive, it's happening during the full moon, which is also July 5th. Now this full moon is in Capricorn. And while we're in the zodiac sign of Cancer, having a Capricorn moon that lasts this long, is actually going to be in Capricorn for several days. It's just one of the most perfect marriages. One of my favorite relationship combos, if anybody asks me, is when a Capricorn finds their perfect water sign, which might be a Pisces or even better, a Cancer or a Scorpio. Those are some of my favorite combos because the complements that each other brings is magical. Now, we have some other big astrological events happening, and I am not an astrologer. I'm a novice. But what you might want to know is that Jupiter is doing all these wonderful things happening and good things are unfolding for us right now, even in the time of uncertainty. So this reading is a general reading for all of us during this week of when we have major astrological events happening, a world of uncertainty with the coronavirus, social unrest, locusts in Africa, dust storms coming across America. I mean, we're living in unusual times, and it requires us to have a new perspective on life. So that all being said, let's jump into our cards. All the information about the decks I'm using today is down below in the diddly-do box. Now, I've picked up this deck. This is an old one now that I'm kind of reconnected with some of my old possessions. This deck is called The Star That Never Walks Around. And the other day, Spirit said, isn't that perfect for COVID? The star that never walks around. This poor star has a mask on. So anyway, I thought, and it's a Native American tarot package is what the author calls it, by Stella, Bennett. And it's fantastic. I'm really growing to love this deck, and I hope you are too, as we're discovering each other in this time. So let's jump into, we have 4 tarot cards today and 1 oracle card. And our first card today, whoa, this is the 2 of Butterflies. So what's happening here in this scene is that 2 warriors from neighboring tribes who were typically warring against each other have offered the pipe ceremony and stepping into the peace pipe and laying down their swords and their tomahawks of battle. So this is the invitation. It is to lay down your sword. This is about that heavy weight of war is being lifted. Now, you know, I'd love to say that this is happening globally, right? Linda the Lightworker loves peace, and when people are sharing a positive step or action moving towards peace and sanctity. But I'm only reading this for you. This is about you. So here's the opportunity for you to, if you have a relationship in your past, or if you've been warring with a loved one or former friend or whatever, and you're still holding on to some of this sort of hostility or anger or resentment or whatever's coming up, today's a great day, and you can listen to this video several times during this time, because maybe this time when you watch it, it's the right time for you to make peace. But of course, I always invite you to make peace with where you are first, to make peace with yourself, with whatever choices you have made. And perhaps you have decided to stop fighting this coronavirus, and you have decided to make peace that it's here, and you are practicing perhaps more social distancing or better. Yeah, I'm really seeing the social thing really having to come. Well, these guys are much closer than 6 feet apart. But this is about a heavy weight being lifted from you in your life. So the most important thing to remember is that if you want change, you're not going to like this, right? If you want change, you got to be the change you want to see. Yeah, you like that. But the part you might not like is you have to be the bigger person. Again. I know some of you, I can hear you right now. I can hear you. You're saying, I am sick of being the first one to call or to apologize or to blah, blah, blah. But maybe that means honoring somebody else's boundaries too. And maybe it is about you honoring the boundary that's been placed, and you celebrate or you seal with a ceremony. So that's the invitation. Be the bigger person, make the call, do your best to repair this relationship, because it's important to you and it's valuable. It's a wonderful thing. You know, our neighboring tribes are exactly as we are, but with different beliefs. Listen, on my drive up to Mount Rainier, one of the things I have downloaded to listen to, because I love listening to books and things, is the book of Genesis. Again, I got to hear it again, because if I recall, I always wanted to study law. If I recall clearly, I was given an opportunity to live on a planet of free will. Free will, right? We took the bite out of the tree of knowledge, and it gave us free will to make choices. That means make an educated choice. And when we're dealing with an emotional issue that requires an educated decision, we must sit in our educated emotion. We got to heal that emotional part first, so then our intellect can come in and help us navigate the waters to create a belief that we can feel and understand. So they have to work together. I know all that from this little butterfly. Listen, butterflies are all about transformation, change, soaring, flying. You can do it. And many of you, you got to do it up here first. You have to think about it first. So notice who it is. Maybe the person that you need to lay down the drum or to put that mohawk down from is someone who might be unsafe for you to contact, for you to have a loving conversation, because perhaps they're not able to hear. Perhaps they're tied up in their addiction or their downward spiral. There's some people who are spiraling out of control downward, and in the past, we used to reach out for them to help them, and that's not the way anymore. You can't, because the risk is you being pulled into the dark hole. So what you have to do now is to be where you are and emanate that light being, that lightness, that love you have for someone else. This is if you just can't be with them because of circumstance, or maybe they've died, or maybe they have moved on, or maybe they're literally unavailable for you. Then this is the opportunity to do the deep healing in your mind's eye, in a meditative state, with consciousness, with love and forgiveness, and truly laying it down, making sure you feel complete. Remember, all this healing that we're doing is for your benefit. And when we take care of ourselves, when we fill those empty holes of loss or grief or sadness or trauma, when we replace that with compassion, forgiveness, understanding, reintegration, and expanding our consciousness, then we're able to move forward, right? It's about not repeating the same thing over and over and over again. All right, Tauruses, don't get upset at me. Sometimes the Taurus will repeat and repeat and repeat, where the Capricorn will keep trudging up the hill, right? And get a better perspective a little bit further away. So be the Capricorn, okay, Taurian? You know, recognize that you are expanding, you're growing, you can let those things go, you can move forward. So that's going to help you focus that attention. You too, Virgo. You get a little skeptical, Virgo. Listen, all you other guys out there, you'll know what to do, but sometimes my earth signs need a little extra. It's okay, kitten. I got you. All right, let's move on to our next card from this beautiful deck. Look at this. The sun. We got the sun. Little darling, here comes the sun. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Good times are happening. This is a great week to shine. As I'm mentioning, if you cannot reach down into that hole to pull anybody up again, the only way you can do it is to shine, let that vibration shine through, and allow people to meet you where you are. Stop going below into dark energy when you know today is about being present and moving forward. We're letting go of the past. And the sun, these beautiful swans, you know, the author says these are swans, because I thought for sure that was what are those guys who stand on the one foot? The flamingo, right? I thought it was the flamingo because I've never seen a pink swan. But then I was reading about swans because this is a powerful swan story with the sun. All right, the sun energy, of course, brings all that Leo-y kind of bright light energy, enthusiasm, healing, the healing energy of the sun. You know, after you've been in Seattle and cold and drab and dark, there's just so many cold rainy days, and then the sun comes out, you know, or in London or over in the UK where it's so cloudy, and then you get that relief of the sunshine. Your skin is almost like, oh my heavens, it's so intense it almost burns. But the swan story is the one about transformation. That's what this whole period is about. It's from you going from that ugly duckling to look at you, holy cow, not only are you a pink swan, you got a tribe of pink swans you're hanging out with. And they say with the swan medicine, it's about allowing spirit to transform us. That swan medicine is about bringing in that swan and having, there's only one word you need, a willingness. Simply being willing and allowing spirit to come in and deliver the change. When you're ready to accept your future and your evolution into the bright light, then you can step into it. So it takes a little bit of courage, especially for those of you, my water signs might be like, oh, my little crabs out there who are like, oh, okay, I might sun myself. Well, crabs like to be in the sun. Yeah, so be like the crab. Crabs love to be in the sun. Then they get too hot and then they run sideways into the water. How do they go this way into the water? Watch a video of a crab. They're adorable. So while we're in this season of the Cancers, who are the crabs, while we have a lunar eclipse, take the opportunity to bask in the sun and feel that energy. Be willing to allow yourself to transform. Be willing for it. Willing. When I'm willing, all sorts of amazing things happen. Now, I know many of you have been doing incredible things right now recently with your diets. Many of you have been cleansing or fasting. I know some of you have been not doing that at all, and that's fine too. But those of you who are, perhaps you're doing an emotional cleansing ceremony, maybe you're not doing a juice fast or whatever, do what feels right for you. But notice where you are emotionally so that you're able to transform. Step out of that old pain, heal your past, step into the present, and prepare for the future. That's really the big message here. And hang on to your hats. What if the future's so bright you got to wear shades? What kind of shades are you going to wear? All right, hang on. We got 2 more tarot cards. I know this is a long reading, but I'm going to be away, so watch me in spurs. Okay, we have, can you believe I've used this deck, 3 or 4 times? We have a repeat card already, which means we must hear this message. And this card has been thrown in the same position as it was earlier. And this is the Page of Frogs. And you're like, what the hell is the Page of Frogs? I'll tell you. This frog, we can't even tell what sex it is because he or she is wearing a mask, and on her back is the shell of a turtle. Oh, that makes it all clear. This is about you unmasking. Now, I'm not talking literally in the world of COVID. I encourage you to practice a safety practice for yourself and for others. That's my opinion. But here's what Spirit's saying. Take off that illusion of who you are. Take off that mask that perhaps you've shown others. Perhaps you only want to show them one side of you. Maybe you don't want to share your side that watches this kind of video. I know a lot of you watch me on the down low, you know, and that not everybody's going to understand if you want to check into like an energy oracle or a shamanic practitioner. Well, screw those people. You got to take off your mask. And when you let your light shine, share how you feel good. But you have to unmask your transformation. So that requires self-inquiry of, when I remove this mask, who am I going to see? How am I looking? And then embracing who you are. And your mask is merely a metaphor on the covers that I don't personally, in my personal life, I don't have shallow conversations because I just don't know how to do that, honestly. But I like to go deep and get into the real meaty or real vegetable-y, the portobello sort of way of embracing that big chunk of life. You know, I go in for the real thing. And perhaps in some of your friendships or in some of your close, intimate relationships, it's time for you to come spiritually forward or emotionally forward or creatively forward or whatever you're hiding, okay? Now, for those of you who are in recovery, you know, I still participate in my meetings. My meetings are great. I love them. And in my recovery, it is always about uncovering those older pains that are still being triggered by what led me to my program. Now, this could be, some of you might be hiding or believing that a practice that you're doing, perhaps working with a plant medicine or an alcohol or sugar, you know, let me get down the list, the Linda list. Yeah, sugar, alcohol, carbohydrates, whatever is feeding that adrenal system, stress, critical thinking. You know what? Negativity is addictive, and being in a negative, critical frame of mind is a mask. That's not who you truly are. And so really unpeeling those layers that we put on to protect ourselves, that's the invitation today. Why, they're saying. For our final card, that's why. Ta-da, we get the Death card. Now, I always think of The Simpsons and Lisa Simpson when she was at some Ren festival and ran into a booth, a tarot booth, and she got the the fuzzy squirrel, and that was like this scary card. But the death card is always about transformation. This is death of a part of ourselves. Look at this. This is a ready to incinerate, ready to let go. You're ready to let go that part of yourself. It might be a relationship. It might be a relationship you have with you. It might be your relationship with you. It might be releasing behaviors, patterns, thoughts, whatever kind of release. You know, you might have to file for bankruptcy, whatever is happening, you got to release it. And by releasing it, you allow the transformation. It's just like this card. By putting down the drum, laying down the drum or the tomahawk, so that you are able to really step into your transformation. It's a spiritual rebirth. This is about you being willing, didn't we say willing, for spirit to come in and help you transform. Because this isn't a thinking thing. You can't say, oh, okay, well, this weekend I'm going to go do Sweat Lodge and I'm going to transform and I'm going to rebirth and blah, blah, blah. No. I mean, this is an inside job. And you have to be honest with yourself, what you're ready to shed and where you're ready to be. You know, for some of you, I'm hearing there's going to be new partnerships forming, especially when I see this. And I know that Venus is doing something with Jupiter, and relating ships, I prefer that word, are working out. So, listen, maybe you have to let go of that idea that you think you're going to be alone all your life. Let go. If you want to call in a partner and you're ready for that, let go of the old belief. You must be willing to allow the change. All right, our final card today comes from the Sandra Ann Taylor Energy Oracle deck. Now, I haven't used this deck in a while. I only use decks when they call me, and this one was calling loud. This deck is based from the UK, I'm pretty sure, and it's fascinating. And all the info is also down below in that diddly-do box. All right. So we received the yin and the yang card, yin, yang, whatever. Okay, so when this card was thrown, it was in the upright position. And Sandra, the author of this book, believes that when it's in the upright position, it is in the yin mode. Now let's just take a moment and gaze at this beautiful card. I mean, it really is. The painting is spectacular. So being in the yin state means being in the divine feminine. Sorry. I know, isn't it great when we can just have a punch list and just get stuff done? But that's in the yang phase. The yang phase, or yin and yang, the yang phase is the masculine, the divine masculine, the achievement, the worker, the do, the action-driven, intellectual sort of mindset. This came up clearly in the yin, and that is all about being in the divine receptivity. So receptivity, what is the divine feminine? The divine feminine is being open. The divine feminine is being in the receiving mode and allowing. The divine feminine is that willingness to allow spiritual transformation to come through us. So how do you get that spiritual transformation? How do I do it? Well, meditation. I mean, that's the easiest pathway. To be in touch with who we are emotionally through meditation, and to honor our emotions and then allow them to just be just reminders of where we are emotionally, rather than believing all the stories that come up with the emotions. And then we're able to lay down those old patterns. This is Death card is releasing your past so you can step into your future. and you need to be receptive. So receptivity means somebody might come along, somebody you might be offered something, prosperity can show up. It's in the allowing mode, being allowed, allowing a new path to form for you. What if you've been doing one thing for 35 years and now you're going to do something different? You have to be in the receptive mode to know which direction to move in. Take your guidance from spirit, be grounded, do your daily meditations, at least one a day. I encourage 2 or 3 times. I love meditating. It's good stuff. So this is the quickest way for you to achieve that divine feminine role. In my opinion, this entire time of chaos on our planet is a rebalancing of our earth so that we can come back into a more divine feminine role. And that card, that YinYang card, really confirms that for me. So while we have this week apart, know that I'll be checking my messages. So if you want to email me or if you want to put a comment down below, I'm not going to be totally off grid. I'm sure I'll be coming in and out of, I'm sure we'll be coming in and out of all kinds of different stages, right? So just stay open to your growth and your transformation. Oh yeah, and I'll be close to, I'm sorry, somebody texted while I was doing this, like, why do I do this on my phone? Because I do. But stay open to receiving that divine inspiration and allow it to come from unexpected places. Look for the signs. Remember, the signs are everywhere. They're all around you, behind me. All right, my dear. Well, I'll tell you what a spectacular week we're going to have. I mean, I can't wait to get in the woods and to really be with spirit and to experience nature. So if you're able to get out into nature at all this weekend coming up, please do so. Please do your best to honor all of the plants and wildlife and all that spirit brings us, and look for the messages in the sky and allow your imagination to expand and explore this beautiful universe we're living in. All right, I'm going to miss you for a whole week, little tomato. I don't know what I'll do. But if you're missing me, feel free to go back to any one of my other videos. You know, I have over, I think I have 800, no, it might be 600 or 700 videos that I've put up. Go grab a random Linda the Lightworker if you're missing. See if any message hits true for you today, because the date truly is unimportant, especially during this time, because time seems to be very fluid. All right. If you're one of my new subscribers, I am so grateful you're here, and I appreciate you stopping by my little channel. And if you want to shoot me a question or put a comment down below, I love hearing what's going on with you. And go ahead and hit that subscription button. I mean, what do you got to lose, right? All right, my dear. Remember to take extra good care of yourself. Say nice things to you. Have a nice inside voice. You know what? I picked up an old journal and I found out the day that I fired my inner critic. So fire your inner critic. Let him go or her go and step into your power. All right? Doubt can destroy you. So there's no need for doubt. All right, my dear. I love you, and I look forward to seeing you next week.